Wire me 85 grand by Monday, or I'll tell everyone you stole Nana's jewels. That's what my little sister Kelsey said across a white tablecloth, like she was ordering dessert, not detonating my life. We were in a private dining room downtown, my hands cold around an untouched mimosa, staring at a glossy brochure for the Silvermont Estate, Chicago's most exclusive wedding venue. No, please, no shame, just a price tag and a threat. Have you ever realized your own family doesn't see you as a person, just a wallet with a heartbeat? If you've been there, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment, because what happened next made me sick. I knew something was off the second I walked into that private dining room. You ever step into a place that's too quiet, too polished, like the air itself costs money? The kind of restaurant where the silverware looks sharper than the smiles? Yeah, that. We were mid-brunch, downtown Chicago, and the bill landed on the table like an accusation. $400. Not the end of the world, not even close. But nobody reached for it. Not my parents, Diane and Frank, not my sister, Kelsey, not her fiancé, Ethan, who sat there scrolling like he was waiting for a ride. And I wasn't cold because of the bill. I was cold because Kelsey didn't look at me like a sister. She looked at me like a solution. She slid a thick, glossy brochure across the table. It smacked down next to my mimosa with this soft little thud, like the moment had been rehearsed. I glanced at the cover. The Silvermont Estate. Exclusive. Historic. Luxury. The kind of venue people book when they want the wedding to be the main character. Kelsey didn't even blink. The venue fee went up, she said. Not a question, not a conversation. Like she was reading the forecast. Rain on Tuesday, sun on Wednesday. You pay on Monday. I need you to cover the difference, she continued, tapping her nails against the brochure like she was impatient with my lungs for still working. It's $85,000. I actually laughed. Not because it was funny, because my brain refused to accept it. Like surely I misheard that. Surely she said 8,500. Surely this is some weird joke. But she just stared at her phone. Calm, detached. Like she was asking me to pass the salt. If you don't wire it by Monday, she added, we lose the date, and the family loses face. There it was. Face. Reputation. The invisible god my family worshipped like it paid our rent. I stared at her. My mouth was dry. My chest felt tight. And I swear, for a second, the whole room went silent. The clinking plates, the expensive murmurs, the soft jazz, gone. Like reality itself was waiting to see if I'd fold. I reached into my purse. My fingers found my wallet. And I snapped it shut. No. One word. Clean. Final. Like a door locking. Kelsey's perfect porcelain smile didn't fade. It shattered. Her eyes narrowed, and I watched her switch from sweet sister to cornered animal in half a heartbeat. What do you mean? No, she whispered. I took a sip of water, slow on purpose. I mean, no. If you want an $85,000 venue, you pay for it. She blinked hard. We already booked the florist. Ethan told his parents it was done. Then Ethan should pay for it, I said. Or your parents. Or, you. Kelsey let out this short, sharp laugh, like she was loading a tantrum. It's not about math, Mara, she snapped. For the record, my name is Mara in this version of the story, because apparently my real name wasn't safe in my own family. Feels poetic, doesn't it? It's about unforeseen circumstances, she said, dragging the words out like they were classy. I raised an eyebrow. Unforeseen like Ethan blew the venue deposit in Vegas? Her eyes flashed. She didn't deny it. Not even a fake gasp. Nothing. She leaned forward, gripping the edge of the table. It doesn't matter where the money went. What matters is you have it, and we need it. That sentence? That sentence is the one that made my stomach drop. Because it wasn't desperation. It wasn't panic. It was ownership. You're the big success story, Kelsey continued, finally looking up from her phone like she was granting me her attention. You fix rich people's messes. You make this kind of cash in a month. Don't act like it's a hardship. And there it was, the weapon she always kept polished. Yes, I have a high paying job. Yes, I'm good at what I do. But the way she said it, like my competence made me responsible for her choices, made me feel dirty. My income isn't the issue, I said, keeping my voice calm on purpose. The issue is you think I'm an ATM with a pulse. She scoffed. Oh my God, don't be dramatic. Dramatic? I leaned in. You're demanding $85,000 because your fiance can't control himself around bottle service. Kelsey's face hardened. You're going to regret this. I stood up, smoothed my napkin, grabbed my coat. My heart was hammering, but my spine felt straight, like I was finally using it. And that's when she hissed, low enough that the other tables wouldn't hear. If you walk out that door, I'm telling everyone about Nana's jewels. I froze. My hand hovered on the chair. My blood went ice. Nana's vintage sapphire set had disappeared years ago. Everyone knew it was gone. Nobody knew who took it. And my sister, my own sister, smiled like she'd been waiting for this moment. I'll tell Dad, she whispered. I'll tell the police, and I'll tell your clients. She tilted her head. How many powerful people trust a fixer who steals from her own grandmother? I turned back slowly, and inside my chest, something cracked. Not sadness. Clarity. If you're still with me, tap like, because this is the moment where you realize sometimes the person who hurts you the most learned exactly how to do it from the people who raised you. I thought the worst part was hearing my sister threaten to destroy my career with a lie. I was wrong. I didn't even make it to the front doors before I saw them. My parents were waiting in the lobby like they'd been summoned by the scent of control. Diane and Frank, standing shoulder to shoulder, arms crossed, wearing the same expression people reserve for a toddler who spilled juice on a white rug. They weren't surprised. They weren't confused. They weren't even curious. They were annoyed at me. We saw you storm out, my mom said, stepping directly into my path. She reached for my coat, not to hug me, just to pick off a piece of lint like I was a display she needed to tidy up. You're causing a scene, she whispered. Go back in there and fix it. Fix it. Like my sister's behavior was a broken vase and I was the glue. I stared at her, my jaw tightened. She just tried to blackmail me. I waited for shock, for outrage, for anything resembling parental instinct. Instead, my dad sighed and checked his watch. She's stressed, he said. It's a wedding. Tensions run high. You know how Kelsey gets. You know how she gets. That sentence has haunted me my whole life because it wasn't an explanation. It was a permission slip. She's demanding $85,000, Akya, I said, my voice rising just enough that a bellhop glanced over. That's not stress. That's extortion. My mom's eyes narrowed like I'd insulted her personally. It's family, she corrected, voice turning sharp. And frankly, I'm disappointed in you. Disappointed. Not in Kelsey for threatening me. Not in Ethan for gambling away a deposit. In me for refusing to be used. You have the means, she continued like she was reciting a rule. We all know how much you charge your clients. Why are you being difficult? And just like that, I wasn't 32 anymore. I was 20. Back in college, waking up before sunrise to pull espresso shots because my scholarship didn't cover rent. Working the library desk between classes. Tutoring at night until my throat hurt from explaining the same chapter to the same kid for the third time. I remembered the smell of stale coffee clinging to my clothes. The way my feet ached like I was 80. The way I'd call home proud. Hey, I made Dean's List. And my mom would cut me off because Kelsey had passed her driver's test. That week, they bought her a brand new convertible. I was eating instant noodles to save bus fare. And my mom had laughed and said, honey, you're tough. You can handle it. Like toughness was a gift. No. Toughness was what I became because nobody showed up for me. I blinked hard, pulling myself back into the lobby. My breath came out slow, controlled. You're doing it again, I said quietly. You're punishing me for being competent. My mom's face went flat. Stop being selfish. Selfish? I almost laughed again, but it would have come out like a sob. Your sister needs this to be happy, she said. You don't need it. You're strong. You can make more money tomorrow. It's just paper to you. That one hit different because it wasn't just manipulation. It was the family doctrine. Kelsey is delicate. Mara is durable. So you spend your love on the delicate one, and you spend the durable one like cash. I looked from my mom to my dad. She threatened to tell people I stole Nana's jewelry. My dad's mouth tightened. Then pay the money and she won't. That's when the cold settled in my bones. Not anger. Not shock. Understanding. My parents weren't victims of Kelsey's personality. They were her investors. They'd funded her entitlement for years, and now they expected me to cover the deficit. We raised you, my dad said, stepping closer, using his height like a weapon. We put a roof over your head. We fed you. He leaned in. That is a debt you pay back when the family needs it. I could smell his cologne. Expensive. Suffocating. And right now, he added, the family needs 85 grand. My mom's voice softened in that fake, poisonous way. Just go back in there, apologize, write the check. Don't turn this into something ugly. Something ugly? Like it wasn't already. My hands were shaking now, but my voice came out steady. I moved out when I was 18, I said. I haven't asked you for a dime in 14 years. I owe you nothing. My dad's eyes turned to stone. Then don't bother coming to Sunday dinner. There it was, the punishment. Not, we love you. Not, we're worried. Exile. I nodded once. Don't worry, I said. I won't be coming. And I walked around them, out the doors, into the Chicago wind so sharp it felt like the air was trying to cut me open. My hands were shaking as I flagged a cab, but not because I was scared of them anymore. I was shaking because I finally saw the truth. The only way to win this war wasn't to argue louder. It was to stop trying to be their daughter. If you've ever had a family member hold love hostage, like a subscription you can lose if you don't pay, comment, I get it. And share this with someone who needs permission to choose themselves. Because what happened next? That's when the real nightmare and the real revenge started. My apartment was quiet when I got home. Not sad quiet, not lonely quiet. More like vault quiet. The kind of silence you choose because it's the only place nobody can touch you. I locked the door, tossed my coat onto the hook, and walked straight to my office. And there he was. My husband, Nate. Yeah, husband. 2 years married in secret because my family would have treated my relationship like a bargaining chip. Nate was sitting in the dark, the blue glow of multiple monitors outlining his face like he was carved out of anger and focus. He didn't ask how brunch went. He just said, they cornered you. It wasn't a question. It's worse, I admitted. Kelsey wants 85 grand. And when I said no, she threatened to tell everyone I stole Nana's jewels. Nate went still. And if you've ever been around someone who's calm in a way that feels dangerous, you know exactly what that stillness means. The jewels, he repeated, voice low. The set that disappeared after Kelsey's party. The one everyone pretends is a mystery. I swallowed. Truth doesn't matter in my industry, Nate. Perception does. If she emails my clients, if she makes me the scandal, I'm done. My throat tightened around the next sentence. I might have to pay her. Nate's chair scraped back. He stood, walked behind me, and instead of arguing, instead of comforting, he said something that made my stomach drop in a different way. It would be perfect leverage, yeah, if she wasn't already drowning. I turned. What? He didn't answer with words. He just gestured to the screens. And that's when I saw it. A waterfall of data, social media metadata, geotags, spending patterns, chat logs, timelines. It looked like a digital autopsy, like my sister's life had been peeled open and pinned to a board. I've been watching their digital exhaust since the engagement party, Nate said. Call it paranoia, but I flagged a spending anomaly on the venue deposit. He clicked, and a transaction timeline appeared. Red flags everywhere. Kelsey didn't pay the deposit with Ethan's money, he said. I frowned. Then whose? He looked up. Sit down. My knees did it without permission. He pulled up account details, credit applications, leases, cards. Then he pointed to a number on the screen. Does this social security number look familiar? I leaned closer, and the air left my lungs. It was mine. That's my SSN, I stammered. But I didn't open those accounts. I know, he said, voice flat. He clicked again. A scanned lease agreement popped up for a penthouse in the Gold Coast. Rent, $12,000 a month. Guarantor. Me. My vision tunneled. That's where she's been living? Nate nodded once. And if she misses a payment, they don't evict her first, they sue you. I felt like I was falling through my own life. He pulled up my credit report next. My score, once pristine, was bleeding out. Cards I'd never opened. Balances that made my stomach roll. A premium travel card, $28,000. Past due, a luxury card, $42,000 years. A department store card, $15,000 maxed out, nearly 90 grand, in my name. My hands started to shake again, worse this time. How did she get past verification? I whispered. Two-factor, IDs. She didn't have to, Nate said, clicking to the next screen. A scanned application with a copy of my old passport, one I thought I'd lost at my mom's house. A burner phone registered under my name, mail routed to a P.O. box. Then he zoomed in on a signature. My signature. Or a perfect imitation of it. I stared until my eyes burned. She practiced, I breathed. She practiced my handwriting. The betrayal felt intimate, like someone wearing your skin. This isn't a family fight, I said, my voice going cold. This is a felony. Nate nodded. Identity theft, wire fraud, forgery. Then he slid a thick folder onto my desk. Police report is ready, he said. Affidavits too. Accounts are getting frozen. The folder felt heavier than my entire childhood. That's when my phone buzzed. A text from my mom. Dinner tonight? Kelsey's place. We're smoothing things over. Kelsey's place. My place. My name on the lease. My credit paying for her champagne life. I looked at Nate. They're inviting us to dinner. In the penthouse she stole using my identity. Nate's mouth twitched. Then we should go. I exhaled. Slow, sharp. Bring the projector. That night, we walked into that freezing penthouse because the heat had been shut off from non-payment. And my sister stood there in a designer dress pretending she wasn't cold. The heating's being upgraded, she chirped. I met her eyes. Gaskets shut off after 60 days. Her smile flickered. My parents and Ethan sat on rented furniture, clutching cheap wine like props in a play they didn't understand. My dad pointed at a chair. Sit, let's finish this. Kelsey shoved a one-page loan agreement at me. No terms, no interest, just a demand. If you don't sign, she hissed, your boss finds out you're a thief. I looked at her, then at my parents, and I felt nothing. You're right, I said. Let's settle debts. Nate set the projector on the table, right on top of her contract, and turned it on. My credit report filled the wall. My mom's face drained. My dad's mouth fell open. Kelsey's eyes went wide like she was watching her own reflection crack. That, I said, pointing, is the financial crime scene you built in my name. Click. The lease agreement. Click. The identity theft affidavit filed hours earlier. This isn't family drama, I continued, voice steady for the first time all day. This is felony fraud, Kelsey screamed, loud, wild, panicked. No, that's fake. She's lying. But Nate just clicked again. Transaction logs, signatures, timelines, everything neat and undeniable. My dad stood up like he could bully reality. Mara, what is this? This, I said, is the part where you finally realize your favorite child isn't delicate. I stepped closer to Kelsey. She's dangerous. Kelsey lunged toward the door, blocking it, shaking with rage. I already sent the email. she shrieked, shoving her phone at me. Your CEO, accusations, ethics violations. By morning, you're finished. I expected my heart to stop. It didn't, because Nate glanced down at his phone and chuckled. Kelsey's face twisted. What? Why are you smiling? I leaned in, voice almost gentle. Oh, Kelsey, you didn't research. Her brows pinched. He's her boss. Yes, I said. And he also owns your wedding venue. Her face collapsed like the air got sucked out of the room. Nate read the reply out loud. Booking canceled, deposit forfeited, legal action pending. Kelsey slid to the floor, ruined by her own cruelty, and I stepped past her toward the door feeling lighter than I had in years. If you're furious right now, you're not alone. Like, comment and share. Because some people need to hear this. Being family doesn't give anyone the right to steal your peace or your identity. 2 weeks later, the silence in my real home felt different. Not empty, not sad, clean, earned. Kelsey lost the penthouse. The cards got frozen. The eviction moved forward. The criminal case started rolling like a train she couldn't outrun. Ethan disappeared. The second consequences showed up. Classic. And my parents? They didn't apologize. They just looked for a way to blame me for finally refusing to bleed. I signed one final paper, a legal name change. Not because I was hiding, because I was choosing. Choosing who gets access to me. Choosing peace over performance. Then I opened my phone, stared at my family contacts group, and deleted every single number. One tap at a time, no speech, no goodbye, just done. So tell me, am I in the wrong for exposing fraud instead of funding it? For protecting my life instead of protecting face? If this hit a nerve, hit like, subscribe, and share your story in the comments. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop calling them family.